Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to my craft room. Come on in. I saved everybody a spot. And welcome to the last day of collage in 100 ways to use scraps. This is number 60 scrap patchwork block. I'm sure you've all heard of Christmas in July, but have you heard of Christmas in April? I need to thank two very special people, Gina Jones and Sharon E. Parent. You guys are so sweet. Look at it. These are my, the tags I want to collect in the land of elsewhere tags. Look at this. There's so many of them. I am like, you should have heard me. Well, maybe not. You should have heard me last night when I was opening them. And there's only one duplicate between these. These are so adorable. They're so stinking cute. I'm so happy. Like, listen to me. I'm still excited from last night when I opened these up. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. They're so gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. They're so beautiful. You guys are so kind. There's that one duplicate. I can't believe there's only one duplicate. Like, that I can see. Like, you guys are amazing. Wow, I am just ecstatic about this. So now that I have so many in my collection just bloomed all of a sudden, I need to figure out something special, a special way to keep them. You guys, thank you. Thank you so much. It was so kind of you. Thank you. I'm just so stinking happy about that. Okay, back to this. I just had to share, and I just really wanted to say thanks to those two gals. Thank you so much. Okay, today, patchwork quilt. So I'm just starting with a regular 8.5 by 11. And I have cut, this is the Monday Marmalade kit. And I do owe an apology to someone. They were asking from what we did yesterday. I had purchased the Heaven's Cottage kit. And they're like, I can't find this set. It's not a raven, it's actually a purple martin. But they couldn't find this image in their kit that they had purchased. That is, and I'll just explain, and I've explained this before, but just in case anybody else was going looking for the purple martin in their kit, if you've purchased that one, these are my test prints out of my scraps, my file folders, and my bins that I'm using. And sometimes something doesn't make the final cut of a kit that I upload. So either the quality isn't good, it's too pixelated, or there's a copyright issue, or there's a file size issue. So this beautiful bird did not make the final cut of Heaven's Cottage, so I do apologize. But that border you will see, and the little girl with the kitty, same thing, did not make the cut. So I do apologize for that. Maybe that didn't go without saying, but I certainly should be a little more clear about that if I'm using something in a project. Look at this beautifulness. Oh my gosh, Sharon, thank you. You guys are wonderful. So I'm just using a light cardstock. This is probably a 65 pound. This is just regular copy paper. And it looks like it might be on newsprint, but actually it's not. It's just because these attic papers, they're old. The imagery is really, like, some of it was even late 1700s, and then the rest of it was early 1800s. So there's definitely some very old vintage looks in the attic paper collections. And like I said, this one's Monday Marmalade, or Marmalade Monday, sorry. Marmalade Monday. Let's get into it. So I called this one the patchwork. I use the word patchwork because I want you to think of a quilt. So all of my pieces are the same size, and I have cut these down to, they are 2 inches wide by 1.5 tall. And it doesn't matter if you go 1.5 tall by 2 inches, whatever. That's what size they are. They're 1.5 by 2. That's what I've selected. It doesn't matter. It's just a number I picked, and I wanted it to be small enough. And I'm just going to go straight across, and then hopefully we do like a brick laying type of thing where they're not lined up exactly. We want to stagger our bricks. So I'm just going to start with anything and just hopefully not repeat patterns. Now in the Monday Marmalade kit, 2 of the pages are kind of similar. They don't look like it when you look at the page as a whole, but when they're cut small like this, they are similar. So I just need to make sure I separate those if I can, and just start laying these down like this. This will be so pretty. So when we're done, we can cut our blocks. Let's see. Cut this. Let me see this one. There we go. So when we're done, we can cut this into four blocks, or if you know right away that, you know, a certain tag size or something that you want to use, then by all means, you can just cut it however you like. But I'm just simply going to, if I do a bunch of these, I will probably cut them into 4 blocks, like quarters, so that I can just store them in my stash box. And I am using 5 different patterns. Those Monday Marmalade kits come, or the attic papers, are like the wallpaper kits. They have 5 high density images in the kits. Okay, so there, I've used all 5. So now I'm going to repeat, starting with this guy, and I'm going to go, and it's going to overhang. That's okay. We will be cutting off the edge. It's going to change each time. Okay, good. Now I'm going to start back over here, and I'll probably start with the one furthest away. And another thing I'm going to do is, these are collated. I should have, there's one. I should have separated them. Okay, so here's the bricklaying thing I was talking about. So I'm just going to give myself a little center crease pinch, and I'm going to mark that right where that join is there. So just like we're laying bricks, okay? And then just continue across. That looks slanted. We'll see. Straighten ourselves out. So I followed that with this one. Do I want to do the same? I can. Seems kind of close. Let's do something different. Let's do something different. Yeah, this one. See, the height's off a little bit. I wonder if I trimmed them funny. I'm just going to change this one if I still can. Yeah. He's cut crooked, so that'll throw the whole line off. There we go. So you're out. I shouldn't be so picky, but I don't want to throw it off right at the beginning. But if there are any gaps or anything, you can of course just ink them after, right? And that's going to camouflage, like covering up our blemishes. It's going to, like, see, I've got a little bit of white there by trying to keep these straight. I'll just ink that. It'll be just fine. And now maybe I'll use this yellow one over here. So thank you for the feedback on collage. It's nice to know. It's not my favorite thing either, so I'm kind of glad we're getting out of collage. But I'm glad that some of you said that you were grateful to try a few new things and kind of get you out of your comfort zone, and that you were happy to learn some techniques that helped you with collage, because a lot of us do collage and we're like, this is terrible. I hate it. I hate everything about it. But using the rule of threes or whatever it was that helped you, you know, like the contrast between patterns and bold, or doing a pattern and doing, that one just happened to work out right on the edge. But see how it's shorter than the other one? I'm not super happy about that. Guess I'll have a lot of inking to do. The using patterns against a plain, you know, just kind of contrasting that visual texture too. And I'm glad those things were all helpful. So now I'm just going to go back to this pattern up here, like starting from the edge, right at the edge. See how pretty that is already? This will go quick. This will go very quick. And then I think I'll go back to this. Oh, not that one. Maybe like that. So just play with your pieces a bit. It's kind of fun to see it come together too. Yeah, we're almost on collage. Like, this is it for collage. And then we're moving into tags, which I think a lot of us will be excited about that. Moving into tags. Tags are fun. That one's short too. Oh my goodness, Kathy. Didn't do very well in my cutting. Hopefully your cutting was better than mine. There, that one's good. Great feedback on the ads, and a couple of questions to answer. So Gardenias and Grace, she actually had a couple of, this kind of, it turned into 2 questions. Her question was, if I have YouTube Premium and I still want to support you, because now I'm not watching ads because I have YouTube Premium, how does that, now I'm not helping support your channel? So the good news is you are still supporting my channel, because anyone that purchases YouTube Premium, YouTube is kind enough to share that revenue with creators like myself, content creators. So yes, I do still get a little kickback. I don't know how they work the numbers, but yes, I still do get compensation for anybody that does YouTube Premium. Thank you for asking. That was really nice of you. And then, however, the other question is, if I skip an ad, to get through them, do you still get compensated the same? The answer is no. So if you skip an ad, that's, I also get skipped. I guess that's basically how to think of it. So no, I don't get the same cut from that. So if you skip an ad, I'm not getting paid on the skip stuff. So I thank you for asking. That was nice of you. But I just want to say I do understand if people want to skip ads. So but if you let them play and you find something to do like while the ads are playing, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. So thank you. And the magic number is 30 seconds. If a viewer watches at least 30 seconds of an ad, or the whole entire ad, if it's a shorter ad, like there's some 15-second ads, if you watch the whole ad or up to 30 seconds, then I do get full compensation for that. So thanks for asking. That was kind of you to think of me like that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just going to overlap that one a little bit so that these all stay the same. And then the bottom one, obviously, so I have two choices here. I can just cut this off now, which I think I will. And then, yeah, I'll be happy with that. And then I'll fill these two in here. So let's find something to fill those in with. Like that. Good. There. So yeah, that's basically the ad com. Yeah, I went on way too long about that. So let's just cut these off. Not great. You know what? I'm just going to cut right off the edge here, so it's absolutely straight. And I'll do the same thing here. Then I'll cut this off. So you see how I left a little bit of it just so that this is all completely straight. And this should be fine at the top. Okay, so now let's see, what have I got left here? 10.5, so we'll go 5. Cut like that. And these are going to be random sizes. But here perhaps I'll do, I don't know. I'll cut right down there and do a tag. Cut right down here and do a tag. And then I've got a belly band. How cute. Well, that wraps up our last collage project of the 100 ways. Can you believe it? And now we're going to move on to tags tomorrow. But let's look back. We've come a long way with collage. We started out just laying bits and pieces of our scraps and creating all these different backgrounds and master boards and trying different things. But in today's project, for example, we did something much more intentional. So instead of guessing where things should go, we approached it with a sense of structure like a quilt or a patchwork style, where every piece has a place and a purpose, and we know exactly which piece comes next after we lay one down. And I know we did it in more of a bricklaying style, but still it does remind me of a quilt, and it feels very nostalgic, and I think it's the perfect background for vintage style journals. But it really takes the pressure off. So we're using up our scraps that we've been holding on to, and we really end up with something beautiful in the end. These backgrounds, they become foundations for our tags, pockets, journaling cards, our belly bands, and nothing is wasted, and every little piece just becomes part of something bigger. And we have this theme now that we can pull through our journals. Well, thank you for sticking out the collage section of 100 ways. I do look forward to, however, jumping into the tag section tomorrow. I'm done with collage for now. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.